What is up? We are live here at the Dre Max Show, about to get the show started. So while y'all sit there, I'm waiting for y'all to gather on. Everybody gather up. Make sure you like and share this video. Start a watch party. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube, and we're about to get this thing started. We're going to be talking about why politicians need to earn the black vote and a brief history in voting. So, give me a second. We're about to get this thing cracking, and I will be right back with more of the Dre Max Show. What is going on, everybody? This is your man Drake Mack. We're about to get the podcast started on the audio version. So, sit back. Make sure again that you're starting to watch party. Like and share this video. We're going to be talking about black voting, a brief history. I'm not going to hold you guys like super duper long, but it is, since the election is just next month, it's very important that we actually talk about black voting. So give me just a second. We're about to get the audio version started here, and we'll be right back. Yeah, you just reached the hottest podcast in your ear right now. This is the Dre Max Show. Now, without further ado, here is your host, Dre Max. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody? This is your man Drake Mack with another episode of the Drake Mack Podcast Show, coming to you live on Wednesday, October 7th, 2020. Before I get started, shout out to my cousin, my big brother, William Manute Brewer. Just had his birthday along with his beautiful lady, Tammy. Man, happy birthday to y'all. Just kind of let's because it's been a week since I did the show. I've been working a lot, and I'm about to go on a 2-week vacation next week. So I'm gonna bring more podcasts to you. I reached out to Ryan Dirks again, Republican, who is running against Manuel Cleaver, about doing a follow-up interview before the actual election. So we're gonna talk. So I am going to have another interview with him and discuss, some of the things that we talked about last time. I'm going to interview. So I'm going to be interviewing him again. If this is the first time you're listening to me on Facebook Live or on YouTube, I'm also on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, basically wherever you get your audio podcast from. That's where I'm at. Just a little recap and review of this week that's been crazy. President Trump actually caught the coronavirus and then turned around and started basically still going out waving and doing motorcade and doing all this and doing all that. This mixed information that's coming that's talking about his diagnosis with the coronavirus. So I don't know really where that's at as far as that. We don't know. I mean, this is to him, this is a reality show, so we don't know if he got it or not. If this is something he did to draw sympathy from people towards going towards the election. But a 77-year-old man don't need to be having the coronavirus because you know we seen what happened with Herman Cain, and he still thinks it's cool to walk around with no mask. And it's funny because he joked in trying to make fun of Joe Biden wearing his mask during the debate, which was a debacle. We ain't even get into the debate. I didn't get to watch all of it. I just watched bits and pieces of it. But obviously, it was a debacle enough for Saturday Night Live to make an awesome skit about it. So, I mean, this election, like I said, it's just not Joe Biden, Donald Trump that you have to vote for. You do not have to vote for those particular people. Remember, you still have to vote for the House and the Senate. And the House and the Senate and Congress is the ones who make the bills. And it feels like I have to pull out that old video of the bill from like the 70s or the early 80s, so people can understand who writes the bills and who doesn't. Y'all just think it's just the president. You're not just voting for the president. That's not how it works. It's Congress. That's what you need to be worried about. You know what I'm saying? Who is coming to represent you and is coming to pass laws in Congress. So since my homegirl Renika was like, hey, we need to talk about why black people need to vote and why blacks are not voting, let's go back. Let's go all the way back into history. Let's go back into time. After the Civil War, and this is from the historychannel.com, it said, for black Americans, gaining the full rights for citizenship, especially the right to vote, were central to securing true freedom and self-determination. This is Frederick Douglass. Slavery is not abolished until the black man has the ballot. Frederick Douglass famously said this in May 1865, a month after the Union victory at Appomattox. Presidential Reconstruction in Black Codes. Now check this out. After Abraham Lincoln was assassinated in 1865, the task of reconstructing the Union fell to the successor Andrew Johnson. A Tennessee-born Unionist, Johnson believed strongly in the states' rights and showed great leniency towards white Southerners in the Reconstruction policy. He required the former Confederate states to ratify the 13th Amendment and pledge loyalty to the Union, but otherwise granted them free reign in reestablishing their own post-war governments. This is very important. It said, as a result, in 1865 and 1866, most Southern state legislatures enacted restricted laws known as the Black Codes. And a lot of the Black Codes still go on today, but I'm just going to stick on the subject, which strictly govern black citizens' behaviors to deny them suffrage and other rights. Radical Republicans in Congress were outraged, arguing that the Black Codes went a long way towards reestablishing slavery in all but the name. Early in 1866, Congress passed the Civil Rights Bill, which aimed to build on the 13th Amendment and give Black Americans the rights of citizens. Remember, we were not considered citizens. We were not even considered human. We were considered 3/5 human. The book that I have called the Black Image in the White Mind by George Fredrickson actually talks more in depth on this. So since I don't have a lot of time, I'm not going to go into depth. I might do a part 2 of this, maybe on this weekend. But you have to understand, and a lot of white Americans have to understand that, yes, the Republican Party backed blacks at that particular time in the 1800s. But overall, people still didn't see black Americans. They seen them as property. They seen them, basically less than cattle. So when you look at the black man in the white, in the white mind, the black image in the white mind, they didn't see us as equal as whites. They felt that we were strictly inferior to whites. So a person has to understand exactly the mind frame that was going on with abolitionists and colonialists. So again, I'm going to probably explain the black image in the white mind, the way that people was thinking as far as the rights of black citizens. I'm probably going to do that maybe this weekend to talk more in depth, because there's a reason why they kept you from voting. There's a reason why they created the black codes. But anyway, I'm kind of digressing. So again, when Johnson vetoed the bill, now remember the Civil Rights Bill was drawn up in 1866. 1866. And they vetoed that bill on the basis of opposing federal action on the behalf of formerly enslaved people. Congress overrode the veto, making the first time in the nation's history that a major legislation became law over a presidential veto. Now, the reason why this is so important is because the reason why it's so important to vote, because you need people who represent you in Congress. And I know a lot of people say, well, they need to earn my right to vote. Yes, absolutely. There are people in Congress, not talking about the president. There are people in the House and the Senate that, yes, they will go to bat for us. There are people in your local government that will go to bat for us. But you have to know who these people are and be able to back them as they back you. And saying, no, I don't want to vote is absolutely idiotic and completely stupid, because Congress is the one who writes the bills. Congress. And they just showed you here in that where Andrew Johnson was like, no, I'm vetoing that. And Congress came in and overrode the president. This can happen. But if you don't go out and vote and go and learn who the people who are going to bat for you, strictly for you, and seeing the black suffering that is going on, you're going to be lost in the sauce when it comes to this. Okay, so this is the 14th and 15th Amendment with Reconstruction Act, again over Johnson's veto in March 1867. The era of the radical or congressional or Reconstruction began. Over the next decade, Black Americans voted in huge numbers across the South, electing a total of 22 black men to serve in Congress, 2 in the Senate. You see how important the black vote is now? Now, of course, this is 1867. You say, well, you got people in there who don't represent us that look like us. Absolutely true. That's why it's up to you to go out and vote for people who can represent you the right way. I don't care if they're Democrat or Republican. That has nothing to do with it. It's when you go outside of your neighborhood and you see buildings and you see neighborhoods that look like crap. That's when you need to get in contact with your congressman. That remember the old saying, like congressman, go out and look at these neighborhoods and say, look at what's going on. Look at what's going on. I reached out to Emmanuel Cleaver on several attempts. It's unsuccessful to try to get him on the podcast to try to see if there's something that he could be able to do. When you're looking at the northeast side of Kansas City, you're looking at Independence Avenue, and you're looking at certain places on Prospect and on Truth that still look like trash, but you go on the other opposite side of Truth going towards the plaza and how beautiful it looks. And there's things that need to be done. We do not need to be living in the type of environments, that we have, but it's up to us to get up, go out and be a voice, go out and vote locally, most definitely, and raise your voice. We need to be able to raise our voice. We shouldn't have to raise our voice in the time of a riot. We shouldn't have to do that. We should be able to lift up our voices and say, look, this is what's going on in our neighborhoods, and we're getting tired of it. And we need you to be able to represent us in Washington. Okay, I'm going to kind of tail off on this because I do have to get going, but this is the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment, approved by Congress in 1866 and ratified in 1868, granted citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the United States. Remember, that's the 14th Amendment. If you were born in the United States, you are granted a citizenship. And in this particular case, including former slaves, and guarantee equal protection of the laws to all citizens. In 1870, Congress passed the last of the three so-called Reconstruction Amendments, the 15th Amendment, which stated that voting rights could not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on the account of race, color, previous condition, or servitude. The Reconstruction saw the biracial democracy existing in the South for the first time through much of the power in state and governments remained in white hands. Like black voters, black officials faced the constant threats and intimidation, the violence, often at the hands of the Ku Klux Klan or other white supremacist groups. So when you have, again, this is why this is so important, not to be intimidated and not fall into the trap of not voting. Because there's a reason why they said the Ku Klux Klan and all these other white supremacist groups to stop our forefathers from voting. Because they did not want black influence in Congress. That's what it's about. Let's be honest. That's what it's about. They don't want you to go out. They want you to not vote. They want you to be disappointed. They want you to see the idiocracy in the hands of the highest office and say, no, I'm not voting for that. I'm not even dealing with it. Why would I want to go stand in long lines to be disappointed in that? And not knowing that basically President Trump or President Biden or President Obama, whoever the president is going to be, is literally just the manager of the McDonald's. They're not the person that's serving you. They're not the person that's making your Big Mac. All they do is make sure the Big Mac tastes good to you, to sell it to you and be a face. They're Dave from Wendy's. That's it. They don't do nothing. When people say Biden put more people in jail, no. The bill and the act of the people who was serving the bill, Biden, all he did was write a piece of paper. That's it. He didn't put nobody in jail at all. It's the people who enacted the bill, because Bill Clinton could have vetoed the crime bill of '94, but he didn't. So he's much to blame as Biden. The people and again, you have to have revisionist history on that, because people forget how dangerous it was in some neighborhoods, going back to Little Rock, Arkansas, Tulsa, Oklahoma, New Orleans, Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Beaumont, Texas, Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, LA, Compton, Watts, South Central. We act like dope and crime wasn't prevalent in our neighborhoods. We just sweep that under the rug because, again, we have revisionist history, because we don't want to go back and look at what was happening. And again, black people was backing that bill because of everything that was going on in America at that time. But again, we have revisionist history. Only thing that I'm going to tell you, people, especially black people, you don't have to vote for a Democrat. You don't have to vote for one particular party. So don't fall into the trap that you just have to vote Democrat. That's a lie, and you don't have to do that. Vote for who best fits your interests. Who fits your interests? That's who you should vote for. So if a Republican fits your interests in the things that you value as an American citizen, because you are an American citizen, don't let them tell you that you're not. Then vote for who you want to. If it's Democrat, vote Democrat. If it's Republican, vote Republican. If it's Libertarian, vote Libertarian. If it's Independent, vote Independent. If it's Green, if it's the Green Party, vote the Green. It doesn't matter. Just vote who fits your interest. And if that person gets in, make sure that they represent you well. Period. It's so incredibly simple, but make sure you read about the information. Do not be afraid to vote. They have intimidated us for so long because they do not want black and brown people in Congress, because Congress makes the bills. And that's all I really have to say about that, because y'all probably still won't get it. I'm just saying. Thank you for that. My man Tipo Lee just came out with a fire song. Got to listen to it on his live. But I'm about to get up out of here. This is your man Dre Mack. You know I love y'all. Make sure you go out and vote. Stop. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Stop listening to people to say this, just telling you not to vote, but not telling you the reasons beyond the presidency. Because they don't know how politics work. They don't know. They probably couldn't even tell you the 3 branches of government. So stop listening to people to tell you not to vote, because Congress is the one that makes the bills. Again, Congress is the one that makes the bills. So when you get mad at these bills, Congress is the one who does it. So go out and vote. Vote for people who push your interests first and get those people into Congress. So then when you have someone in the highest office that's acting a complete dummy, Congress could come over there and overrule him. That's all. I'm out. I love y'all. Peace and shalom to everyone. Yeah. Whoops. I am out of here. Peace. Love y'all. Shalom to everyone.